Multiple choice questions on the cardiovascular system for all medical students preparing for their licensure exams.
Welcome to Medent Tutorial, an online educational platform which prepares you for your GMDC, crop, Plab, WASI, nursing, and many more. Don't forget to hit the subscription button. Question 1. Which of the following is not correct concerning the location of the heart? A. It is superior to the lungs. B. It is superior to the diaphragm. C. It is inferior to the lungs. And D. It is anterior to the vertebra. The heart is located superior to the diaphragm. Anatomically speaking, superior means above. Thus, the heart is above the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a thin, dome-shaped muscle that helps you inhale and exhale. In other words, it helps you to breathe in and out. The sternum, also known as the breastbone, is a flat, T-shaped bone in the center of the chest that protects the heart, the lungs, and other organs. The sternum, for that matter breastbone, and the heart are both located in the chest, with the heart slightly behind and to the left of the sternum. The heart is in between the lungs inferiorly and more to the left side. The heart is anterior or ventral to the vertebral column or the vertebra. The correct answer is therefore A. Question 2. Heart muscle is also called A. Epicardium, B. Endocardium, C. Myocardium, D. Endothelium, and then E. Visceral pericardium. The wall of the heart separates into the following layers or walls. These are epicardium, myocardium, and endocardium. The epicardium is the outermost layer of the heart, and it is sometimes referred to as the visceral pericardium. Now, the pericardium is the outside layer that does not compose part of the heart. It houses fluid that reduces friction to the heart and protects it as it pumps. The heart muscle or myocardium comprises the middle and the thickest layer of the heart wall. The endocardium is the innermost layer of the heart. The correct answer is therefore C. Myocardium. Question 3. The epicardium A is a layer of cardiac muscle. B is the visceral pericardium. C is also known as the parietal pericardium. D lies the heart chambers. And then E is the pacemaker of the heart. The epicardium is the outermost layer of the heart, and it is sometimes referred to as the visceral pericardium. The correct answer is therefore B, the visceral pericardium. Question 4. Blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart are called A. Arteries, B. Veins, C. Capillaries, and then D, all of the above. Arteries carry blood which is rich in oxygen away from the heart, whereas veins carry deoxygenated blood back towards the heart. Capillaries are involved in exchange of gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide. The correct answer is therefore A, arteries, as they help to carry blood away from the heart. Question 5. The tissue which forms a loose fitting sac around the heart is the A, endocardium, B, visceral pericardium, C, myocardium, D, epicardium, and E, parietal pericardium. The key phrase here is a loose fitting sac, which simply refers to the fluid-filled sac, also known as pericardial sac or pericardial cavity, and this surrounds the heart. It is composed of a strong fibrous connective tissue known as the parietal pericardium. The pericardial cavity is a potential space between the visceral and parietal pericardial layers. So normally we say the pericardium consists of the visceral and parietal layers, and in between it is the cavity. Normally, about 50 ml of fluid can be present within the pericardial sac or the pericardial cavity. This fluid protects the heart from infections and provides lubrication to reduce friction between the heart and surrounding tissues. Therefore, the correct answer is E, parietal pericardium. Question 6. The valve between the left ventricle and the blood vessel leaving the left ventricle is the A, aortic semilunar valve, B, tricuspid valve, C, pulmonary semilunar valve, and D, bicuspid valve. The heart has four main sections or chambers. The top two chambers are called the right atrium and the left atrium. The bottom two chambers are called the right and left ventricles. Each of these chambers has a valve that keeps blood flowing in one direction. The heart also has a tissue wall called the septum that separates the right and left sides of the heart. The heart has four valves that control the direction of blood flow through the heart. These valves are 1. Tricuspid valve. This valve is located between the right atrium and the right ventricle. 2. The pulmonary semilunar valve. This valve is located between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. 3. Mitral valve or the bicuspid valve. This is located between the left atrium and the left ventricle. And the fourth valve is called the aortic semilunar valve. This valve is located between the left ventricle and the aorta. The correct answer is therefore A. That is between the left ventricle and the aorta, or the blood leaving the left ventricle, or the vessel leaving the left ventricle, that's the aorta. Question 7. The smallest type of blood vessels are A. Arteries, B. Arterioles, C. Venules, and D. Capillaries. Capillaries are the smallest blood vessels in the body. They are tiny, extremely thin-walled vessels that act as a bridge between arteries and veins, and they help in exchange of gases. Venules are the smallest veins in the body. Of course, the biggest one will be the inferior and the superior vena cavas. Arterioles are the smallest arteries in the body. And of course, the biggest ones will be the aorta. Therefore, the correct answer is D. D. The capillaries. Question 8. The fluid-filled sac that surrounds the heart is called the A. Pericardium, B. Myocardium, C. Ventricle, D. Septum. Again, the fluid-filled sac is also called the pericardial sac or the pericardial cavity. This surrounds the heart and is composed of a strong fibrous connective tissue known as the parietal pericardium. The pericardial cavity is a potential space between the visceral and the parietal pericardial layers. And normally, about 50 ml of fluid can be present within the pericardial space. This protects the heart from infections and provides lubrication to reduce friction between the heart and surrounding tissues. Therefore, the correct answer is A. Pericardium. Question 9. Blood exits the left ventricle in which of the following blood vessels? A. Pulmonary trunk, B. Coronary artery, C. Aorta, D. Pulmonary vein, and E. Superior vena cava. Oxygenated blood is brought back to the heart by the pulmonary veins which enter the left atrium. From the left atrium, blood flows into the left ventricle via the mitral valve or the bicuspid valve. The left ventricle pumps the blood to the aorta via the aortic semilunar valve. which will distribute the oxygenated blood to all parts of the body. And hence, the correct answer is C, aorta, because that is the vessel which supplies blood to the entire body. And it is leaving the left ventricle. Question number 10. If you've come this far, give yourself a round of applause as you have done really well. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share to as many as you can so that each and everyone can understand this concept. Question 10. Compared to an artery, the wall of a vein differs in which of the following way? A. The middle tunic is thin. B. It is lined by a thin layer of endothelium. C. It contains smooth muscle. D. It consists of three coats called tunics. And E. Veins have an extra layer of muscle. All right. Blood vessels, whether arteries or veins, have three layers or walls or tunics. So anytime you hear any of these, they are referring to the same thing: layers, walls, or tunics. These layers are the tunica intima, that's the inner layer. We have tunica media, that is the middle layer. And we have the tunica adventitia, also known as the external or the outermost layer. Now the differences. Arteries have thick middle tunic or layer, whilst veins have thin middle layer or tunic. Arteries have thin external layer, whereas veins have thick external layer. Arteries have a narrow lumen, whereas veins have broad lumen. Arteries have no valves, but veins have valves. So these are briefly the differences between arteries and veins depending on the layer. So kindly take note of that. The correct answer is therefore A. The middle tunic is thin for veins. And hence that is the answer. Thank you so much for your support, and God will bless you, and see you in the next video. Peace out.